What's going on, everybody? It's Orion612 back again with another build video. This time it's going to be with the updated changes to the buddy builds. Now, this one is the Prismatic Warlock that I boasted about having done a solo Grandmaster Excision on, and this time it's been just put on steroids. It's insane the way the synergy works all around with mods, artifact mods, fragments, aspects. It's interchangeable within stats. Let's go over the build just to get you guys on baseline with whatever stats that you have optimized and some that you cannot get. So we're going to go with the Needle Storm. This is going to be synergizing with artifact mods that I'll get into later. Phoenix Dive for emergency cure and to grant us Hellion. Jump is up to you. I'm using Arcane Needle to unravel the enemy and grant my heavy weapon anti-barrier. Grandmaster and Ultimate, you are always going to have champions, so it's nice to have a little emergency backup just in case you have no anti-barrier. Storm Grenade, because you have to run it, it's a getaway artist build. This will be giving you a damage resist, a buddy, a aggressive arc soul with the getaway artist that now jolts, and it jolts multiple enemies. Hellion for ignitions and for a debuff, and a damage buff that you'll be getting shortly. I'll explain that after. Feed the Void, obviously, to get Devour, because Devour is just amazing. Although I could go with a little bit more of a buff. In ultimate mode, it's still fantastic to have. Facet of Protection, a must-have. You just get an automatic 10% DR when surrounded by enemies. Here we have Facet of Dominance, so our Void Grenades will weaken when we are Transcendent. Our Arc Grenades jolt. Here we have Facet of Courage, so your Arc, Solar, and Void abilities. So Arc, we're going to have with our buddy, and Solar we are going to have with our Hellion, and Void we are going to have with our Transcendent Grenade. So everything here is going to be buffed from your Darkness debuffs, which will be either Arcane Needle, Penumbral Blast, your Needle Storm, and that's about it. Facet of Purpose, picking up an orb. This will synergize again into the build because we will be making a ton of orbs, granting us one woven mail because we are using Needle Storm. You can use Restoration, or you can use an Overshield, depending on how you want to synergize your ability regen based off your stats. So this will give you Restoration, this will give you an Overshield, this will give you Frost Armor. And let's go into the artifacts. So the key component to this is tightly woven. So there's going to be a ton of times that we are picking up orbs because our Arc Buddies and our Hellion are directly tied to our grenade energy. So multi-kills, I think it only takes like 2 or 3, depending on how many mods you have equipped on your gauntlets. Here I have 2. I think if you have 3, you get it every 2 kills. If you have 2, you get it every 3 to 4 kills, which is fantastic. I added a grenade font because I wish my grenade stat was a little bit higher. 160 would be perfect because we are getting a 30% damage bonus to our Hellion and to our Arc Buddies. We went with Eartide Apex. It's a classic go-to. Chaos Reshaped gives you a damage bonus to the weapon, and it will periodically heal you at ×1 and ×2. And we also have Heal Clip, getting a 3rd and 4th source of healing during a gunfight if you are playing at Grandmaster or Ultimate difficulty. You will need healing as much as you can because out of nowhere you can be put down at one shot pending the modifiers and how surrounded you are by enemies. Now to go back to this, when you consume your grenade, you're going to get amplified. You're going to get a damage resistance, and you're going to pop your rift, and you're going to get up Hellion. So that loop is going to start. Now when you pop your rift, you're going to want to pop it near enemies. You're going to get a chunk of super, and when they start to go to work, you're going to be getting your super back incredibly quick, because they're going to be finishing off the enemies. And with firepower, you're going to be creating the orbs. They're going to be granting you woven mail, armor charges. I believe that's it from now. And the orbs themselves, I think pending your leg, your gauntlets, your leg, you can be getting ability regen. Here you'll be getting your class ability. You can also have recoup, and better already to get even more health regen. I put on stacks. It gives me an additional charge, so that when I do pop my Phoenix Dive and the kills go with Hellion and I consume my grenade, once I pick up an orb, I'm getting 2 armor stacks, and that will synergize with powerful attraction, so that when I do pop my Phoenix Dive for the second or third or fourth time, because I'm getting it back incredibly quick, I'm sucking up all the orbs. I think it's in about a 10-meter range. So either you're walking over them, or your Phoenix Dive near the enemies that you have just killed with your buddies, which is giving you the super regen on Dynamo. You're scooping up your orbs, and then you're getting plus 20 to your class. My class is a little low. And then here, all my ability cooldowns are reduced when I'm using my class ability. So again, it's back into ability regen. Now, we're not too sure, but apparently at 100 weapon stat, one, you're getting a flat 15% damage bonus. You do get the plus 10 for each featured piece of gear, so automatically your weapons are dealing 25% more damage. And it's speculative, I would say, that the weapon stat is actually scaling with the buddies. It could be a bug, or it just could be speculative. I'm not too sure. I didn't really see that much of a difference. I saw the difference in the grenade. It was massive. On my chest armor, I went with some resist mods and charged up, so now I can get 4. So it would just take 2 orbs to get 4 armor charges, which is, in a refreshed fight with tons of adds around, you have about 45 to 60 seconds on renewal of your ability uptime, my grenade ability uptime, and all my ability cooldowns. So I'm getting my grenade back incredibly quick, getting my Phoenix Dive back incredibly quick. I have really low melee. I get my melee back incredibly quick. It all synergizes. On top of that too, I'm getting woven mail, which is giving me increased class ability and grenade stats. So on top of that too, you're getting, I think it's either plus 10 each or plus 20 each. I'm not too sure. I'd have to check the compendium again. So on top of that, my grenades are getting buffed. My class ability stat is getting buffed, so I'm getting almost to 100 class ability with it. And on top of that, I'm getting woven mail for about 5 seconds each orb that I do pick up. So it's constantly up. Here we're going for Radiant, because I have 2 solar weapons. One can't really do precision damage because it is a linear that you use mainly the buddy with, but if I do use the heavy just as a linear with bait and switch, that's another 30% damage bonus on top of a radiant damage bonus, on top of a heavy slot damage bonus that is just there for the artifact. So there is a lot of synergy going on. On top of that too, you have another artifact here where stasis or strand debuffed non-bosses and combatants take increased solar damage. So that's the caveat to that, is if you want to run an arc buddy with a stasis turret, you are still getting a darkness debuff, and that's proccing a secondary solar damage damage buff on top of the radiant, on top of the artifact, and then it's synergizing even more here with shield crush because you will be amplified, you will be radiant, and your grenade is going to recharge quicker, and your woven mail is going to give your melee recharge faster and deal more damage and continuously debuff enemies. Now here, Radiant Shrapnel is what I just put on because I think it just was there. So out of that, you will be radiant a lot. So you'll be shooting out the little scorched, I guess it's buddies or the little Eunoia ticks that fly out. They're not very accurate, but it's good to have. Here you can get another damage perk if you're picking up a ionic charge or a tangle in this case, because I'm using Needle Storm. Here you can suspend the targets, and if you have a stasis weapon, you want to proc all three of these. But again, that's dealer's choice. This is what I stuck with because it's just kind of busted. It's really working well. I am using a strand weapon. So here I can switch between refresh threads and pack tactics if I have unstops in the mission, or here I'd be getting my tangles, and it is another ability regen source for all my abilities, my grenade, my melee, and my Phoenix Dive. So the ability uptime on this is crazy. The amount of damage buffs you can get is crazy. The UI, just on the left side, you won't even know how many are up because you are amplified, you have improved ability regen, you're radiant, you have Devour, you have weapon perks, you have bait and switch, you have heal clip, you have chaos reshaped, you have elemental honing, which I do have on my weapon here. You can even go with hatchling and slice and start even reducing more of the enemy damage output. You can switch to Vanguard Determination to get a further damage resistant buff on your character to be even more tanky. And this brings us to our armor set. I have a smoke jumper set. The two-piece gives you a perk called Ride Together, Die Together. So when you're picking up the orbs, it only lasts 2 seconds, but your Phoenix Dive heal is coming down, scooping up the orbs, buffing everything for you, and this is going to give you a 45% damage resistance for 1 second, and then at the 0 second, it's a 30% damage reduction. So all in all, every choice that you are making, whether to be use your weapon, use your abilities, use your super, consume your grenade, hit precision shots, get kills, every little piece is all put in to synergize how you move, how you dodge, how you engage, how your gunplay is going, and it's insane. It's really bumped up. They've really revamped this. On top of it, we have now a flat 10% buff to all our ability regen to make us a little bit more OP, to being aggressive, engaging quick and disengaging quick, jolting enemies, igniting enemies, unraveling enemies. It's really well done. It's, I would say, somewhat balanced. Ideally, I do want to check out how it is at 200 grenade stat with 100 super. So I will have to find some pieces, especially the smoke jumper set, to max out all of these, including my my font mods, to get it at like a perfect blend of 200, 100, and potentially an 80 or 90 stat at my class or melee. Yeah, that's about it for the build. I highly recommend you guys check it out. Give it a try. It's an easy game loop. You walk into the battle, you consume your nade, drop your Phoenix Dive, let the first few kills happen with your abilities, your buddies. You'll get Devour, you get Radiant, and you'll get Scorching, you'll get Jolting, you'll be creating orbs, you'll be getting your Woven Mail, Your woven mail will be putting into your class ability regen. You'll be picking up the orbs, gaining your armor charges, and gaining better stats with your grenade, your class. Picking up the orbs will also rejuvenate all of your abilities. You have damage reduction. I think it goes up to about 85%. Then woven mail. So you're very tanky. You can go very aggressive. Your super comes back incredibly quick. I was just testing it out in an onslaught, and just before the match had begun, you have a few enemies when you had come in and your little ADU pops up. I had already been fully charged on my super and on my prismatic, so that's how quick it builds. And there's maybe a dozen enemies there, so it's a very, very strong build in Grandmaster and Ultimate difficulties. And yeah, that's about it for this build. And then there's been talks as well about Verity now being very powerful with the Void. What's it called? Scatter Grenade, and with the Arc. I forget what the Arc one's called. The Ionic Sentry. So I'm gonna come out with a second video going over the Arc build and a third video going over the Void build. It's nice to see a little bit of shine on the subclasses. It would be nice to get a little bit more fragment slots for the Arc, just to fully optimize it the way they do it with Prismatic, seeing as you can't get Devour unless you use the exotic sidearm that you get from Warlord's Ruin. So, but usually when you're building into Solar Strand Stasis, everything is synergized weapon-wise and subclass-wise. So let me know what you guys think about this build. Leave a like, don't forget to sub, and I'll catch you guys in the next vid. All right, peace.